You don't need a life crisis or some grand awakening to turn things around. Just a few simple habits can do the trick. If you've ever found yourself running on autopilot, juggling work, family, and everything in between, wondering, is this all there is? Trust me, you're not alone. I've been there. I remember a time when every day felt like a blur, just moving from one task to the next, doing what needed to get done but feeling like I was getting nowhere. Then it hit me. It wasn't some massive change I needed, just a few small shifts in how I approached my daily routine. And honestly, that realization changed everything. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, great, more life advice I don't have time for. But hear me out. You don't need a trip halfway across the world or a new job to feel in control again. In fact, what I'm about to share are Stoic-inspired habits that completely transform my life in just 1 week. And no, they're not your typical self-help buzzwords. So buckle up, because today we're going through 7 powerful, practical habits rooted in ancient wisdom but tailored for our busy modern world. By the end of this video, you'll have a blueprint for regaining focus, building mental toughness, and living a more purposeful life. And trust me, it's easier than you think. Let's dive in. Habit 1, waking up early with intention. All right, let's jump into the first habit. Oh, waking up early with intention. Now, I know you've probably heard the advice to wake up early before. It's not new. But here's the difference. What if waking up early wasn't just about getting a jump on the day, but about setting the tone for how you live it? That's where Stoicism comes into play. The Stoics believed in the power of intentionality, starting each day with a clear purpose. When you wake up early, it's not just about having extra time. It's about using those early hours to center yourself, gather your thoughts, and get ahead mentally. It's a small but powerful way to claim control over your day instead of letting the day control you. In the quiet of the early morning, you're able to reflect on what's important. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often wrote about how he would prepare himself each morning for the challenges that lay ahead. He knew that life was unpredictable, that obstacles would appear. But by starting the day in stillness and reflection, he armed himself with the mental clarity to face whatever came his way. This is where waking up early becomes more than just a productivity hack. It's a mindset shift. Those first moments of the day are yours, undisturbed by emails, phone calls, or the chaos of daily life. It's time to meditate, to think about how you want to show up in the world, and most importantly, how you're going to handle the inevitable struggles that come your way with stoic calm and resilience. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The first few days might feel brutal. Rolling out of bed at 5 or 6 a.m. when you're used to hitting the snooze button is no easy feat. But what you'll notice after just a few days is that you start to appreciate the quiet, the way the world feels still and yours. For the Stoics, mornings were a time to prepare not just for the tasks ahead, but for life's bigger challenges. Seneca talked about how we should greet the day by anticipating what could go wrong, not in a negative way, but to mentally prepare for whatever difficulties might arise. When you get up early, you have the luxury of time to think about these things, to prepare yourself mentally for anything that might throw you off course. Waking up early isn't just about squeezing more productivity out of your day. It's about setting yourself up for success mentally. The world tends to pull you in every direction once the day gets going. But when you claim those early hours, you're taking control. You're giving yourself a moment of peace and focus before the noise starts. And here's the real kicker. Waking up early isn't about deprivation or making your life harder. It's about empowerment. It's a small but profound way to discipline your mind and body And once you master it, it spills over into everything else you do. That's where the transformation happens. You start the day calm, focused, and intentional instead of rushed and reactive. If you've ever had one of those days where you feel like you're playing catch-up from the moment you open your eyes, this habit is going to change the game for you. Start small. Even waking up just 15 minutes earlier than usual can give you the space to set the tone for your day. Eventually, you'll find that those early mornings become something you look forward to, a time to reconnect with yourself before the demands of the day begin. So start tomorrow, wake up with intention. Before the world pulls you into its chaos, take control of your day and set your mind on what truly matters. That's what Stoic mornings are all about. Habit 2, daily physical exercise as a form of discipline. Let's move on to the second habit, daily physical exercise as a form of discipline. Now, at first glance, exercise might seem like a purely physical activity, something you do to stay in shape, lose weight, or build muscle. But from a Stoic perspective, it's so much more than that. For the Stoics, the body wasn't just a tool for physical work, but a vessel that needs to be trained and disciplined in order to strengthen the mind. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, believed that self-control and discipline were the foundations of a virtuous life. Exercise is one of the simplest and most effective ways to cultivate that discipline. It teaches you to endure discomfort, to push through when things get tough, and to stay consistent even when you don't feel like it. These are the exact principles Stoicism encourages, building resilience through daily intentional effort. When you commit to exercising every day, you're not just building physical strength, you're training your mind to overcome resistance. Stoicism is all about understanding what's within your control and what isn't. You can't control external circumstances, but you can control how you respond to them. Exercise is a perfect metaphor for that. When you push through those last few reps or finish that run, you're practicing the Stoic principle of enduring what is hard and uncomfortable for the sake of long-term benefit. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." What better way to practice mastery over yourself than by taking control of your physical body? When you show up every day for your workout, regardless of how you feel, you're teaching your mind to stay steady in the face of adversity. You're practicing the Stoic idea of being proactive, of doing what's necessary rather than what's easy or convenient. But here's the thing, it's not about perfection or pushing yourself to extremes. The Stoics weren't about excess, and neither is this habit. It's about showing up consistently, no matter how small the effort might be that day. Even if it's just a 15-minute walk or a few stretches in the morning, it's the act of committing to the practice that builds the real value. The discipline you cultivate in your body directly influences your ability to face challenges in your daily life with grace and composure. There's also a Stoic concept that's particularly relevant here, eudaimonia, which is often translated as human flourishing. The Stoics believed that flourishing wasn't just about intellectual or moral development, but also about taking care of your physical self. Physical well-being was seen as part of living in accordance with nature, and that means taking care of the body you've been given. Exercise helps you align with that natural state by keeping your body strong and capable, but it also keeps your mind sharp and focused. When you exercise daily, you're creating a routine that reinforces the Stoic values of resilience and perseverance. One day, you might not feel like doing it. Your muscles are sore or you're mentally drained. But the moment you push past with that discomfort, you're living the Stoic principle of enduring hardship for the sake of something greater, your health, your mental clarity, and your ability to stay disciplined. I remember reading about how the ancient Stoics would prepare themselves for tough situations by voluntarily putting themselves through small hardships. Seneca, for example, would sleep on the floor or wear simple clothes as a way of training his mind to handle discomfort. Daily exercise works in much the same way. It's a controlled form of discomfort that strengthens both body and mind. It's the discipline of doing something difficult now so that you're better prepared for the unexpected challenges of life later. One of the most overlooked aspects of Stoic philosophy is the importance of the body in the overall health of the mind. They understood that the two are connected. A body that is well cared for, through exercise, proper rest, and nutrition, supports a mind that is clearer, more focused, and better equipped to handle stress. So when you think about exercise, don't just focus on the physical benefits. Think about what it's doing for your mental toughness and your ability to stay disciplined in other areas of life. You're not just building muscles, you're building the kind of internal strength that Stoicism celebrates, the strength to face life's inevitable difficulties with calm, resilience, and grace. Whether it's lifting weights, going for a run, doing yoga, or even just taking a brisk walk, daily movement is a reminder that you're in control of how you respond to your environment. You are choosing to endure a little discomfort today to build a stronger version of yourself tomorrow. It's Stoicism in action, training the mind by training the body. Start small if you need to. It's not about how much you do in one day, but the fact that you're showing up every day, rain or shine, in sickness or in health. That daily discipline will pay off, not just in how you look or feel physically, but in how you handle the rest of life's challenges. And that's where the true transformation happens. Habit 3, practicing journaling for self-reflection. Now let's dive into the third habit. Journaling for self-reflection. At first glance, journaling might seem like a simple act of putting thoughts on paper, but in the context of Stoic philosophy, it's much more than that. It's a powerful tool for self-examination and personal growth. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, used journaling as a way to reflect on their thoughts, actions, and decisions. It was a daily practice for understanding themselves more deeply and aligning their actions with their values. One of the key principles in Stoicism is knowing yourself. The Stoics believed that true wisdom begins with understanding your own thoughts, emotions, and motivations. Journaling offers a way to do exactly that. By taking a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts, you create a space where you can step back and observe your mind from a distance, almost like a conversation with yourself. This reflective process helps you gain clarity on why you feel a certain way, what's driving your behavior, and how you can improve. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is one of the best examples of Stoic journaling. It wasn't written for public consumption, but as personal notes to himself, a way to keep his mind sharp and his values aligned. He would reflect on his day, reminding himself of the Stoic virtues he aspired to: patience, resilience, and rationality. He used his journal to explore his own flaws and shortcomings without judgment, simply as a way to learn and grow. This is what makes journaling so powerful. It's not about perfection, but progress. For modern life, journaling serves as a tool for emotional regulation and self-awareness. Let's face it, life can be chaotic, and it's easy to get swept up in the rush of daily activities, stress, and external demands. By writing down your thoughts, especially at the end of the day, you're giving yourself a chance to process what's happened, to reflect on how you handled things, and to plan how you can do better tomorrow. It's a daily check-in with yourself, grounded in the Stoic principle of constant self-improvement. What makes journaling so stoic is that it forces you to confront your own thoughts and actions objectively. Instead of getting caught up in emotions or excuses, you can look at your day with clarity. Did you act in accordance with your values? Did you remain calm in the face of adversity? Or did you let anger or impatience take control? The Stoics believed that self-mastery starts with self-awareness, and journaling helps you develop that awareness by putting your thoughts under the microscope. There's also a Stoic concept called premeditatio malorum, the practice of anticipating challenges before they happen. Journaling allows you to prepare mentally for the difficulties you're likely to face, both big and small. By reflecting on potential obstacles, you can rehearse how you'll respond in a calm, rational manner, rather than being caught off guard and reacting impulsively. Writing about these scenarios helps you mentally rehearse Stoic virtues. So, when real-life challenges come your way, you're prepared to handle them with grace. For example, let's say you're dealing with a difficult colleague at work, someone who constantly pushes your buttons. Instead of allowing frustration to build up, you can use your journal to think through the situation. What triggers you about this person's behavior? How can you change your response to them? What Stoic principles can you apply, like patience or viewing the situation from a broader perspective? By journaling, you work through the emotional clutter and arrive at a clearer, more measured approach. Another core Stoic belief is the idea of focusing only on what you can control. When journaling, you'll often find yourself writing about things that are outside your control, whether it's the behavior of others, external events, or circumstances. But as you write, you can begin to shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on the uncontrollable, you ask yourself, what can I do about this? How can I change my perspective? This shift in thinking is fundamental to Stoicism, and it's something that journaling helps cultivate. One of the most important benefits of journaling is that it serves as a form of emotional release. Stoicism teaches that while we can't control the events around us, we can control our responses. But in order to do that, we first need to understand our emotions. Journaling gives you the space to process difficult emotions like anger, fear, or frustration. By writing about them, you're not suppressing these feelings, but rather exploring them in a controlled way. This allows you to detach from the emotional intensity and approach the situation with more rationality. Through this practice, you're also cultivating eudaimonia, a Greek word that the Stoics used to describe a flourishing life. Journaling helps you align your actions with your long-term goals and values, ensuring that you're living in a way that leads to personal growth and fulfillment. Each time you reflect on your day, you're taking a small step toward becoming the best version of yourself. A key aspect of Stoic journaling is that it's a practice of self-compassion. Stoicism isn't about beating yourself up for mistakes or being overly critical. Instead, it's about learning from your experiences and making adjustments. When you journal, you're giving yourself the opportunity to reflect without judgment. You recognize your imperfections, but you do so with the goal of improvement, not self-condemnation. This aligns with the Stoic belief that we are all works in progress, striving toward virtue, but never reaching perfection. And finally, journaling fosters a sense of gratitude. The Stoics were big on gratitude, encouraging us to focus on what we have rather than what we lack. By incorporating a gratitude practice into your journaling, whether it's writing down 3 things you're thankful for or simply reflecting on the day's positive moments, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. This daily practice of gratitude helps keep you grounded, reminding you of the good in your life, even when things get tough. So how do you start? It doesn't have to be complicated. Set aside just 10 minutes each evening, grab a notebook, and begin writing. You don't need to write perfectly or even follow a specific structure. Just let your thoughts flow. Write about what went well, what didn't, what you learned, and what you're grateful for. Over time, you'll start to notice patterns in your behavior and emotions, giving you deeper insight into yourself and your life. Incorporating journaling into your routine is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate Stoic resilience. It's a simple, accessible tool that offers profound benefits, helping you gain clarity, self-awareness, and control over your emotions. When done regularly, it becomes a cornerstone of personal growth, giving you the ability to face life's challenges with the wisdom and calm that the Stoics themselves practiced. Habit 4. Mindful eating with Stoic moderation. Next up is mindful eating, a habit that ties deeply into the Stoic virtue of temperance, the practice of moderation and self-control. At first glance, eating might not seem like something that requires deep thought, but from a Stoic perspective, every action in life is an opportunity to practice mindfulness, moderation, and gratitude. Stoicism teaches us that how we approach even the most mundane tasks reveals our character. Food is no exception. The way we eat can either be an unconscious, rushed process, or it can become a mindful act of self-care and respect for our bodies. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from living in accordance with nature, and mindful eating is a way to align yourself with the natural rhythms of hunger, nourishment, and satisfaction. In modern life, it's easy to fall into mindless eating habits, grabbing food on the go, eating in front of screens, or using meals as an emotional escape. This disconnection not only affects our physical health, but also our mental well-being. Mindful eating, on the other hand, is about slowing down and being present with each bite, savoring the flavors and paying attention to how food makes us feel. It's about bringing awareness to the act of eating, which aligns with the Stoic emphasis on being present and living intentionally in every moment. Let's consider what mindful eating really entails from a Stoic perspective. The Stoics valued simplicity and temperance in all things, including food. Seneca, in his letters, often spoke about the benefits of consuming modest meals, not just to avoid indulgence, but to cultivate self-discipline. When you practice mindful eating, you're taking control of your impulses, which strengthens the Stoic virtue of moderation. Instead of eating out of habit, stress, or emotion, you become more attuned to your body's actual needs. The key to mindful eating is to pay attention. Before you start eating, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, am I truly hungry, or am I eating out of boredom or emotion? This simple check-in allows you to bring awareness to your eating habits, which is essential in Stoicism. One of the greatest teachings of Stoicism is the importance of self-awareness, understanding your motivations and actions in order to improve them. When you approach food in this way, it becomes an act of conscious choice rather than mindless consumption. Another essential Stoic practice is gratitude, and mindful eating naturally incorporates this. Instead of seeing food as something to get through quickly, view it as a gift, an opportunity to nourish your body, fuel your mind, and enjoy the moment. Even Marcus Aurelius, who was an emperor, lived a life of simplicity and found value in appreciating the small, everyday experiences. Food was never about indulgence for the Stoics, but about being grateful for what nature provides while practicing moderation and self-restraint. The Stoic approach to food also challenges the way we think about pleasure. Stoicism doesn't ask you to deny pleasure altogether. Rather, it encourages you to approach it with balance and wisdom. When you eat mindfully, you're not denying yourself the enjoyment of food, but instead, you're fully experiencing it without excess. Epictetus often warned about the dangers of becoming a slave to desires. By practicing mindful eating, you're exercising the Stoic discipline of not being ruled by cravings or impulses. This practice also aligns with the Stoic idea of living in harmony with nature. Your body, just like your mind, operates best when it's in balance. Mindful eating helps you listen to your body's signals, when you're hungry, when you're full, and how different foods make you feel. This aligns with the Stoic belief that we should live in accordance with our natural needs, not indulging beyond what's necessary, but also not depriving ourselves. Mindful eating also has a ripple effect on the rest of your life. When you practice awareness and moderation with food, that sense of control and balance starts to extend into other areas. If you can master your relationship with food, you begin to master other impulses, like overconsumption of social media, reacting emotionally in stressful situations, or being overly attached to material possessions. It's all connected. The discipline you cultivate at the table strengthens your discipline elsewhere. Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus, in his teachings, often talked about food as a way to develop both self-control and virtue. He argued that eating too much or indulging in luxury weakens the soul because it encourages us to become slaves to our desires. In contrast, mindful eating helps us recognize when enough is enough, not just with food, but in life. When we eat mindfully, we are practicing restraint and moderation, two critical virtues in Stoicism. This habit also ties into premeditatio malorum, the Stoic practice of foreseeing challenges and preparing for them. In today's fast-paced world, where stress often drives us to overeat or make unhealthy choices, mindful eating becomes a way to anticipate and avoid that reactive behavior. By preparing meals with intention, slowing down, and savoring each bite, you are proactively managing your relationship with food, rather than reacting impulsively when hunger or emotions strike. Moreover, mindful eating can become a tool for practicing apatheia, a Stoic term that refers to the state of being emotionally unshaken by external events. When you eat mindfully, you disconnect food from emotional turbulence. Instead of turning to food as comfort when you're stressed or bored, you're able to separate your emotional state from the act of eating. This emotional detachment, without suppressing emotions, is a key Stoic trait, allowing you to engage with the world in a calm, composed manner. One personal experience with mindful eating that stands out is how it changes your relationship with food cravings. As you become more mindful of each bite, you start to realize that many cravings are fleeting and not based on real hunger. You become more attuned to how your body feels after a meal and can make decisions based on that awareness, rather than just reacting to the immediate pleasure of eating. This is Stoic mindfulness in action, making thoughtful choices rather than being driven by desires. If you want to integrate this habit into your life, start with one meal a day. Turn off distractions. No TV, no phone. Sit down, breathe deeply, and focus on the food in front of you. Take small bites, chew slowly, and really taste the flavors. Reflect on how the food nourishes your body. Over time, you'll find that this simple act of eating with awareness will not only improve your health, but also cultivate a Stoic mindset of self-discipline and gratitude. In the end, mindful eating isn't just about improving your diet, it's about living with intention and awareness, values that are at the heart of Stoic philosophy. By practicing this habit, you're not only nourishing your body, but also sharpening your mind and aligning your actions with the Stoic principles of moderation, gratitude, and self-control. Habit 5. Limiting screen time to cultivate focus. The next habit is one that many people overlook but is critical in today's world. Limiting screen time to cultivate focus. In our hyper-connected digital age, screens dominate nearly every aspect of our lives, from work to entertainment to social interaction. But as the Stoics would remind us, too much of anything, even seemingly harmless activities, can lead to distractions that pull us away from what truly matters. One of the most central ideas in Stoicism is the notion of mindful attention, being fully present and intentional with how we use our time and energy. The Stoics believed that the mind is our most valuable tool, and it should be guarded from distractions that can cloud our judgment, weaken our resolve, or scatter our focus. Limiting screen time is a modern application of this ancient wisdom. It's about reclaiming control over our attention, which is constantly at risk of being hijacked by endless social media feeds, news cycles, and notifications. Let's reflect on the Stoic principle of dichotomy of control, which teaches us to focus only on what we can control. In many ways, the content we consume through screens is outside our control. Algorithms are designed to pull us in, notifications disrupt our thoughts, and before we know it, hours have slipped away without us consciously choosing how to spend that time. By limiting screen time, we are practicing this Stoic principle, taking back control of what we can, our attention and our time. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This rings especially true when we think about how much time we spend staring at screens, scrolling through social media, comparing our lives to others, or worrying about news and events far outside our influence. The constant barrage of information doesn't just consume our time, it fills our minds with unnecessary concerns, pulling us away from the present moment. Limiting screen time is a way to shield ourselves from this mental clutter and reconnect with what is directly in front of us, the things that truly matter. Another key Stoic principle at play here is moderation, or what the Stoics called temperance. Stoicism is not about rejecting technology or isolating ourselves from the world, but about using everything in moderation, including our digital devices. The Stoics taught that we should engage with life's pleasures mindfully, without becoming addicted or overwhelmed by them. When we limit screen time, we are practicing temperance by setting boundaries on how much we allow screens to dominate our lives. We are choosing balance over indulgence. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of living according to nature, which means aligning ourselves with what is natural for a human being, a focus on relationships, contemplation, and meaningful activities. Excessive screen time takes us away from that. It isolates us, making our interactions shallow and fragmented, and it fills our minds with noise that prevents us from thinking deeply or reflecting on our actions. The more time we spend staring at screens, the less we engage with the real world, with nature, or with the people around us in meaningful ways. The Stoics were also strong advocates for solitude and reflection. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about the importance of retreating into oneself, not to escape the world, but to center the mind and clarify one's thoughts. In today's world, solitude and reflection are hard to come by when we are constantly connected. Every spare moment is filled with checking emails, scrolling through social media, or watching videos. By consciously limiting screen time, we allow ourselves the space for Stoic reflection, the opportunity to step back, process our thoughts, and realign our actions with our values. For example, Epictetus taught that we must guard our inner citadel, the fortress of our mind, against distractions and harmful influences. Screens are one of the greatest distractions of our time, and they can infiltrate our minds, filling them with unnecessary worries, comparisons, and mindless entertainment. When we limit screen time, we are in essence fortifying our inner citadel, ensuring that what enters our mind serves us rather than distracts us. There's also the matter of self-discipline. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from mastering oneself, and that includes mastering our impulses. How often do we reach for our phones out of habit, boredom, or even stress? The impulse to check social media or watch just one more video is a form of distraction that weakens our discipline over time. By consciously limiting our screen time, we practice the Stoic virtue of self-control, training our minds to focus on what is important and resisting the urge to escape into digital distractions. An additional benefit of limiting screen time is that it allows us to be more present in our relationships. Stoicism teaches that human connection is essential to living a virtuous life. How many times have we been physically present with family or friends, but mentally absorbed by what's happening on our screens? Limiting screen time fosters deeper, more meaningful interactions because we are fully engaged with the people around us. Instead of dividing our attention between real conversations and digital noise, we can connect in a way that strengthens relationships, something the Stoics would highly value. One of the most significant changes that happens when you limit screen time is that you rediscover the lost art of contemplation. In the silence and space created by less screen time, you begin to think more clearly. The Stoics placed a high value on contemplation, on thinking deeply about life's questions and reflecting on how to live virtuously. When we are constantly bombarded by digital stimuli, we lose the ability to sit with our thoughts, to consider our actions, and to align ourselves with Stoic principles like courage, justice, and wisdom. By cutting down on screen time, we create more space for this kind of deeper thinking. So how do you approach this in a Stoic way? It's not about extreme measures like cutting out screens entirely or going on a digital detox for months. The Stoics would advocate for moderation and mindful engagement. Start by setting boundaries that feel manageable, whether that's reducing screen time by an hour a day or creating tech-free zones in your daily routine. The goal is to create a healthier balance and reclaim time that can be used for reflection, meaningful activities, and building connections. In doing so, you'll find that your mind becomes clearer, your days feel longer, and your focus sharpens. You'll begin to notice the difference in how you interact with the world, more present, more intentional, and less distracted. And this, fundamentally, is what the Stoics sought: to live with purpose, free from distractions, and fully in control of one's own mind and actions. By limiting screen time, you are practicing one of the most important Stoic disciplines, being the master of your own attention, your own time, and ultimately, your own life. Habit 6. Practicing Stoic. Gratitude. Let's now turn to the next habit: practicing Stoic gratitude. While gratitude might seem like a simple or even sentimental concept, for the Stoics, it was a cornerstone of living a good and fulfilling life. It wasn't just about being thankful when things were going well, but cultivating an attitude of gratitude regardless of external circumstances. This kind of deep Stoic gratitude is more profound than just counting blessings. It's about recognizing the value in everything, even challenges and hardships. The Stoics believed in the principle of amor fati, the love of fate, This means accepting everything that happens in life, whether good or bad, and finding gratitude in it all. For a Stoic, gratitude isn't just for the pleasant moments, but for the difficult ones too. It's about being grateful for the very fact that you're alive to experience life in all its forms. The highs and lows are all part of the journey, and embracing this with gratitude leads to a stronger, more resilient mind. In modern life, it's easy to fall into the trap of always wanting more success, more possessions, more happiness. But Stoicism teaches us that true contentment comes not from external things, but from appreciating what we already have. This aligns perfectly with the practice of Stoic gratitude. When we take the time to reflect on what we already possess, whether it's our health, relationships, or even our challenges, we start to realize that we already have everything we need to be content. So gratitude, in the Stoic sense, is closely tied to the idea of detachment from externals. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what is within our control and let go of what isn't. By practicing gratitude, we shift our mindset from what's lacking to what's already present. This doesn't mean we become complacent or passive, but rather that we approach life with a sense of acceptance and appreciation. When you're grateful for the present moment, even for the struggles that shape you, you're practicing a core Stoic virtue, apatheia, a state of being unshaken by external events. Gratitude is also a powerful antidote to the constant dissatisfaction that so many people feel in today's world. Social media, advertising, and societal pressures often push us to compare ourselves to others, making us feel like we're not enough or that we don't have enough. The Stoics, however, believed that comparison is one of the greatest thieves of happiness. Instead of measuring your life against someone else's, practicing gratitude allows you to measure your life against itself. It brings your focus back to your own path and what is meaningful to you, rather than being distracted by the lives of others. Seneca wrote extensively about the importance of appreciating what you have in the moment, warning against the endless pursuit of more, which often leads to dissatisfaction and anxiety. He said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Practicing gratitude helps you ground yourself in the present, allowing you to enjoy life as it unfolds, rather than being caught up in future expectations or past regrets. This shift in mindset can reduce anxiety, enhance your mental clarity, and help you live more peacefully. Another Stoic principle that ties into gratitude is the concept of sympatheia, the idea that we are all connected as part of a larger whole. Practicing gratitude makes us aware of this interconnectedness. When you express gratitude, it's not just for the material things you possess, but also for the people in your life, the relationships you've built, and the contributions of others that enrich your existence. Stoics understood that no one achieves anything alone. By acknowledging the roles that others play in your success or well-being, you reinforce the Stoic ideal of recognizing the collective nature of life. Gratitude also encourages humility, which the Stoics saw as a key virtue. When you practice gratitude, you're acknowledging that much of what you have, whether it's material wealth, relationships, or personal growth, comes not just from your own efforts, but from external circumstances and the support of others. This humble acknowledgement is crucial to Stoic thought, because it reminds you that you're not in complete control of everything. You can influence your thoughts and actions, but there are countless external factors that contribute to where you are today. Gratitude keeps you grounded and prevents arrogance or entitlement from taking root. Let's not forget that gratitude can also transform how you perceive adversity. For a Stoic, every challenge is an opportunity to practice virtue. whether it's patience, courage, or wisdom. When faced with hardship, instead of cursing your fate, the Stoic approach would be to find something to appreciate within the struggle. Maybe it's a lesson you're learning, a skill you're developing, or simply the chance to build resilience. This is where gratitude becomes a powerful tool for mental strength. By being thankful for adversity, you take control of how you respond to it, transforming potential suffering into a moment of growth. One of the simplest but most profound Stoic exercises is reflecting daily on what you're grateful for. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reminded himself to be thankful for the present moment, for the people around him, and even for life's difficulties. This daily practice of reflection not only kept him grounded but also helped him maintain a sense of perspective, particularly in the face of his many responsibilities as a Roman emperor. If you're looking to incorporate Stoic gratitude into your daily life, a simple but powerful exercise is to end each day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. In fact, Stoic gratitude thrives on the appreciation of life's small moments, like a peaceful walk, a kind word from a friend, or even the challenge that made you stronger. This daily practice helps cultivate an attitude of thankfulness, making it easier to see the good in life, even when things aren't going your way. In practicing gratitude, you're aligning with one of Stoicism's greatest insights. That peace of mind comes not from having everything you want, but from wanting everything you have. Gratitude turns your focus inward, helping you realize that much of the anxiety and stress we feel comes from an imagined lack, when in reality, we already possess so much to be thankful for. So, start today. Take a moment to pause and reflect. What in your life are you grateful for right now? It doesn't have to be something extraordinary. In fact, the Stoics would argue that it's the ordinary moments, the ones we often overlook, that carry the most meaning. By practicing Stoic gratitude, you not only enrich your current life, but also prepare yourself to face future challenges with a calm, centered, and thankful mindset. And that in itself is a powerful form of Stoic resilience. Habit 7. Evening reflection and preparing for tomorrow. Now let's focus on the final habit, evening reflection and preparing for tomorrow. This practice, deeply rooted in Stoicism, is one of the most powerful ways to close your day with intention and prepare yourself mentally for the challenges of tomorrow. While the morning sets the tone for how you face the day, evening reflection offers an opportunity to look back, analyze your actions, and make adjustments for the future. It's a practice that has the potential to dramatically shift your mindset, as it encourages both self-improvement and acceptance. The Stoics believe that self-examination was key to living a virtuous life. Every day was seen as an opportunity to reflect on one's thoughts, actions, and reactions. Epictetus said, "It is not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." At the end of each day, the Stoics would review how they handled life's events, whether they acted according to their values, responded to situations with reason, or let emotions and external factors control them. This evening reflection becomes a way to build awareness of how well you've adhered to Stoic virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. One of the most notable examples of evening reflection comes from Marcus Aurelius, who would write in his journal each night. These writings, later known as meditations, were never meant for anyone else. They were his personal thoughts, a way of processing the day, reminding himself of his principles, and preparing for tomorrow. This habit allowed Marcus to constantly reassess his actions and thoughts, giving him a clearer understanding of his strengths, weaknesses, and how he could improve. Incorporating this Stoic habit into your life starts with a simple practice. Before going to bed, take a few minutes to think about the events of your day. Ask yourself, how did I handle the challenges I faced today? Did I act in line with my values? Was I patient, kind, and rational? Where did I fall short? And how can I do better tomorrow? This reflective process forces you to confront your actions without self-criticism, which is a key Stoic lesson. The purpose isn't to judge yourself harshly, but to understand your behavior in order to grow from it. Evening reflection also emphasizes another critical Stoic concept: acceptance of imperfection. The Stoics were realists. They understood that no one is perfect and mistakes are inevitable. However, they also believed that every mistake is an opportunity for growth. When you reflect on your day, the goal isn't to dwell on what went wrong, but to acknowledge it, accept it, and think about how to act better next time. This habit builds resilience because it shifts your focus away from regret and toward improvement. It's important to note that this reflection isn't about indulging in regret or self-blame, which Stoicism advises against. Regret ties you to the past, while Stoicism encourages focusing on what you can do right now and moving forward. Instead of ruminating on what went wrong, use this time to consider how you could have responded differently. In doing so, you'll gain insight into how to handle similar situations in the future with more wisdom and composure. Another Stoic teaching that evening reflection reinforces is memento mori, the reminder of your mortality. The Stoics believed that reflecting on death, not in a morbid way, but as a reminder that time is limited, helps you live more intentionally. When you look back on your day, you're encouraged to consider how you spent your time. Did you use your hours wisely? Did you focus on what matters? Were you present in your relationships and work? Or did you let trivial distractions consume your energy? By reflecting on this, you can start the next day with a greater sense of purpose and urgency to live according to your values. Stoic reflection also helps you deal with unresolved emotions. Throughout the day, it's common to encounter frustrations, disappointments, or situations that didn't go as planned. If left unchecked, these feelings can build up, creating mental clutter. The Stoics taught that you shouldn't suppress emotions, but observe and understand them. In your evening reflection, take time to explore any lingering emotions from the day. Were you angry at something that was outside your control? Did you experience anxiety about a future event? By reflecting on these emotions, you can begin to detach from them, viewing them from a place of rationality rather than being overwhelmed by them. The evening reflection also offers a perfect opportunity to practice another Stoic principle: preparing for adversity. The Stoics believed that life would inevitably present difficulties, and rather than avoid thinking about them, they prepared for them mentally. This practice, called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, involves imagining the possible challenges and setbacks you might face the next day. By doing this, you can mentally rehearse how to respond with calm, rationality, and virtue when those obstacles arise. You're not wishing for bad things to happen, but preparing yourself to face them with a Stoic mindset when they do. This leads to a mindset of resilience. If you've already mentally prepared for adversity the night before, when those difficulties appear in real life, you're much less likely to be thrown off course. You've already visualized how to deal with the situation calmly, making it easier to navigate when the time comes. In essence, evening reflection helps you set the stage for tomorrow with a mindset of readiness, grace, and poise, embodying the Stoic belief that we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. Lastly, this evening practice of self-examination encourages a sense of progress rather than perfection. The Stoics emphasize that personal growth is a continual process. It's about striving for improvement every day, even in small ways. When you engage in reflection, you start to notice patterns in your behavior. Maybe you've reacted with frustration in similar situations before, or perhaps you consistently struggle with patience in specific interactions. By identifying these patterns, you can begin to consciously work on them day by day, which is the essence of Stoic growth. To make this habit even more effective, consider writing your reflections down. Keeping a journal, much like Marcus Aurelius did, allows you to track your progress over time. You'll be able to look back and see how far you've come, how your mindset has shifted, and where you've improved. This written record becomes a tool for personal accountability and serves as a powerful reminder that self-mastery is a journey, not a destination. In conclusion, Stoic evening reflection is not just about reviewing your day. It's about preparing for tomorrow with intention. It gives you the opportunity to learn from your experiences, manage your emotions, and plan how to face life's challenges with greater wisdom and strength. It's a habit that fosters continuous growth, resilience, and clarity of purpose. By embracing this daily practice, you embody the Stoic belief that progress is made not by grand gestures, but by consistently striving to align your actions with your values. As we wrap up, it's clear that these Stoic-inspired habits offer more than just temporary fixes. They represent a way to fundamentally shift your approach to life. Whether it's waking up early with intention, exercising daily to cultivate discipline, journaling for self-reflection, practicing mindful eating, limiting screen time, expressing gratitude, or engaging in evening reflection, each habit is designed to help you live with more purpose, resilience, and clarity. The beauty of Stoicism is that it's practical. It's not about lofty philosophical ideals, but about actionable steps you can implement right now. These habits, when practiced consistently, can lead to a more balanced, grounded life, helping you to navigate whatever comes your way with calm and reason. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to begin. Start small. Choose one habit that resonates with you and incorporate it into your routine. You'll be amazed at how these simple shifts can transform your mindset and ultimately your life. Remember, Stoicism isn't about perfection, but progress. It's about constantly refining yourself day by day, with each challenge becoming an opportunity for growth. So, take these habits, make them your own, and start living with the resilience, focus, and intention that Stoicism teaches. Your journey toward a more fulfilled, balanced life starts now. Keep striving, keep growing, and stay strong.